Welcome to Sun Sand and Sold Unfiltered. I'm Josh Tomey with David Haber. David, new style. In between our studio sessions, we're going to get a little bit of FaceTime, even when we're not sitting in the same neighborhood. I think tonight you're joining us from where?
North Carolina, Linville Ridge, on top of the
Linville
mountain.
Ridge, North Carolina. How the heck's the weather up in Linville?
About 55, 60 degrees, cool. It was sunny today. Sorry for those stuck in the South Florida humidity, but
No,
happy to.
it's nice. It's nice here today. It's like 130. It's great.
Oh, but it's wet, right? So the people who are in, dry climates, they always say, "Oh, it's 115 in
It's a
Phoenix."
dry.
But
It's a dry.
it's a dry heat.
It's a dry
Right.
heat,
Well,
David.
we get to say it's a wet heat, and you don't need a shower because when you come in from outside, you're already, you know,
David, we're going to be a
completely
little
wet.
more we're going to be a little more rapid fire than we usually are in the studio. We're going to throw up some stuff on the screen and talk about some things out of the headlines, some things from social media. We go right out of the gate. Take a look at that. What did Collins Avenue look like before the hotel and condos? I couldn't resist putting this one up when this popped up on the Miami Herald site because you would actually know what Collins Avenue looked like before the hotel and condos.
Well, I'm not 140 years old. If you,
Well, there's no horses on this street. I mean, you know,
no, but it's very funny because if you look at old pictures of Collins Avenue,
I
it
mean,
was a road.
that's
It was a road through the swamp because all of Miami Beach was dredged. It was
right.
all swampland. It had some scrub brush and some trees, and it was all scrub. It surely didn't have roads like that.
David, I'm looking here. I actually think that's you. I'm going to get a digital enhancement from our editing team. I actually think that's you right there, but we're going to qualify that one later on. I couldn't resist.
But I will say that when I moved to Miami Beach in the early 70s, other than like Christmas week and Thanksgiving and a couple of months in the winter, you could just fly up and down Collins Avenue. It was no problem. Now, from South Beach all the way to Hallover, it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's actually getting worse by the day. But I couldn't resist throwing that up. But I'm going to throw up actually the first one I did want to talk to you about because this one actually got a fair amount of hits on our site as well as on Instagram.
How do you like the Boston Scully? My wife told me
I love the
Boston Scully.
All right, so you ready for this one?
I thought, by the way, just so that you people out there know, I thought it was like an Italian racing cap or it was an English racing cap.
What's an Italian racing cap?
Listen to me. Boston Scully sounds like some low-life, Irish thug from Boston. I mean, I like Italian racing cap better.
As somebody who's proudly sporting his Boston beat today, I will.
Well, like I said,
I take some exception to that. All right, before we get
Bostonian, what can I tell you?
Before we get too much hate mail from my fellow Bostonians, Miami named second most exciting city in the country by time.
That's fantastic.
Well, I think it is fantastic until I pulled the article and found out Atlanta was ahead of us. And then I'm wondering, and no offense to our listeners.
First of all, why is Miami Timeout and Miami Timeout magazine? It's a little self-interest.
Well, I think there's a Timeout like national publication, but second most exciting. But Atlanta came out ahead. All kidding aside, I don't know how much more exciting a city can get than Miami. I mean, I'd be thinking, what would I have put ahead of Miami? I guess maybe New York. New York's always kind of the big brother city of the whole country.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I mean, maybe like on a nighttlife basis, you get into like Vegas. I mean, I guess
Vegas for nightlife, but truthfully, we have F1, we have the big tennis tournament, we have Winter Music Festival, we have
Art Basel. We host Super Bowls.
We host Super Bowls. We have
Miami Open.
I said that already.
You didn't listen.
A tennis tournament, and we have the worst baseball team in the history.
The worst baseball team in history just swept the New York Yankees, by the way.
I know. I saw that. That was crazy.
Did you see they played Sweet? They played Sweet Caroline at the end of the last game.
Did they really?
It was like if they did, it was great. It was great. And my Red Sox.
Oh, we have the 2-time world champion, Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers.
That is true. Hockey Town, USA. It's Plantation, Florida.
But you got to admit that's kind of funny when the Canadians haven't won the Cup in almost 30 years. A Canadian city hasn't won the Cup since like the mid-90s. And the Cup has been won 2 years in a row in a state where you can't even have ice. Although, I want to say this, New Year's Day, they have at the Miami Marlins Stadium, they have the winter hockey game. What's it called? The
Winter Classic.
Winter Classic. They have one game in Tampa indoors at their stadium and one game indoors at the baseball stadium here in Miami. How they're going to have ice at the baseball stadium, I don't yet know, but I do have tickets to go. Shout out to Max Haber for helping me get the tickets.
Shout out to Max Haber on the Winter Classic tickets. But look, to be fair on the Canadian issue, there's a lot of Canadians on the team. I mean, I think the geography is a little less relevant, right? I mean,
but you got to admit, Florida is a heck of a place to have the Stanley Cup champions.
Listen, I got to figure these guys are thrilled to be playing. I mean, listen, of all the places you could wind up to play professional sports, South Florida is a great place to play pro sports. And the fact that you're playing hockey in Florida, I mean, yeah, it may seem like a little bit of a non sequitur relative to sports and climate, but honestly, there's got to be.
Well, you also don't have state tax in Florida. Although I found out a couple of years ago that football, basketball, baseball players, hockey players, they have to file income tax returns in every state
that they play.
Country that they play in, but at least they get half their games at home in Florida with no tax.
So true story. Cool. True story. All right. Next up, David.
Yeah.
Colombia is the top foreign country searching for Miami real estate. Now, I'm curious in your dealings.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised about that.
I was surprised. I mean, I certainly have a fair number of Colombian clients.
I don't buy that one.
The Miami Realtors Association say it's so.
Fake news.
You're calling that fake news.
Fake news.
So who do you instinctively put on top there, since we're being totally unacademic?
I'm putting Brazil on top.
I would have gone Brazil. I mean, I've even seen a lot more
Brazil,
Mexico.
Argentina. I'd even put, Brazil, Argentina.
I will Mexico. Say that.
Definitely not Colombia.
I will say this, there has been more Colombians that I've seen investing on the condotel side. And maybe because those units are proliferated in greater number, maybe that's where that's coming from. I don't know. That one kind of surprised me. I was curious what you thought. I mean, I've had some dealings.
I think it's fake news.
All right. We're chalking that up. We're chalking that up to fake news. That one's done. That one is done. All right, David, we're going to test your local acumen. What do you know about this story? Miami-Dade approves $880 million Hue Hub project in Little River. That happens to be where my Blackbriar management offices are.
I don't know what's a Hue Hub. Is that a word that millennials know that I haven't learned yet?
Hue Hub is actually the name. It's actually the name of this development in West Little River. West Little River, which I guess
maybe it was like. I thought it was maybe like the Hubble telescope. Hue Hub.
It's not. It's actually the name of this large scale residential development.
I think it's fantastic. I think
it is under the Live Local Act. Now get this. Ready for this? 4,032 fully furnished residents over 7 35-story towers. Architectonica design.
And let me ask you a question.
4,000 doors.
Condos, condo hotel units, or are they residential multifamily, or a combination of the above?
So the way that they say it is primarily multifamily, because they're talking about it as an attainable housing development. So this is like a new term to me. I don't know what attainable housing. It sounds like a little bit of workforce.
I can tell you, my children say that there is no attainable housing that's reasonably priced in South Florida.
But it is very interesting because it's taking advantage of Live Local to streamline the dev process, increase density in the zoned area, and create more fundamentally affordable.
I like it.
Affordable housing. Affordable housing. I think it's very interesting. It's supposed to, 4,000 units. I mean, that's
a ton of units. But remember, we're like 50,000 units or 100,000 units short in South Florida right now, just in Miami-Dade County.
A ton, even though multifamily has been suffering a little bit. I mean, it's very interesting to see this, but I
just want to know, can you say Hugh Hub 5 times fast?
They're going to call it like the Hub. No one's actually going to call it by its real name. They're just going to call it.
I just want to know whether you can say Hugh Hub, Hugh Hub, Hugh Hub.
I live at the Hub or the Double H. I think the Double H. Remember the triple H? When it was American Airlines Arena. It was the AAA. I think this could be the Double H. Get this: almost 5,000 parking spaces and another 60,000 feet of retail. Now this is out on 27th Ave. So when you say West Little River, this is very West Little River.
This is pretty west.
This is pretty far west.
But you know what? It's great. It's great for that neighborhood. It's great for that neighborhood.
It is. And what's really striking to me architecturally is not the design, but the fact that you're going to have, 7 30+ story towers that far west. Now that is a real shift, right? That's a skyline shift west. That's very different.
Yeah, but I like that because now you're going to fill in between Biscayne Boulevard and 27th Avenue, and you're going to gentrify that whole area.
No, it's very now. Listen,
once you set a western boundary of this kind of western Little Haiti, now you're going to fill it in.
I think the fact that a nearly $1 billion development with approachable housing, really in an urban environment, this is the kind of thing that you and I have been talking a lot about. So I like that one too. I think Sun, Sand, and Sold Unfiltered gives that a double thumbs up. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Check this out, David. U.S. home foreclosure rate rises to 5-year high. New filings up 6% from last year nationwide. Economists aren't sounding the alarm. Where do you sit on this? Because I think there's certainly some flags, some red flags halfway up the mast right now economically. Very difficult to see where this is all going, though, right? Fed stayed flat last week. Foreclosures.
Well, they're talking about 2 rate reductions towards the end of the year, but they started with 6 or 8 and now they're down to 2 and they still haven't done one yet. And the president and the Fed chairman are fighting. And as my son Max points out, the Fed chairman doesn't make the decision. The entire board does. He always whacks me with that one. But I tell you what, I'm more interested in Florida statistics on condos with all these special assessments and whether or not, even though there was a little bit of a reprieve this year in the legislature, whether or not in the next few years you're going to see a significant foreclosure rate based on these assessments that they can't afford to pay.
Well, I'm going to tee you up on that one. I'm going to give you one guess at the nation's number one state for foreclosures in 2025 filings. That would be our home state. That would be our home state of Florida.
For sure.
There's no question, right? And that's obvious. And I mean, there's certain parts of the state that are suffering more than others. But I got to imagine there's a lot of attribution to the condo crisis. I mean, are we allowed to call it a crisis at this point?
I think it's a crisis. I think it's a multifaceted crisis. I think part of it is owners having to move out, get terminated, the condos getting terminated, all the new, lawsuits involve developers trying to, take 100% termination requirement and change that law through 80%, which they just got shot down in the 3rd DCA and they're going to the Supreme Court. Whether or not the Supreme Court will take the case or not, who knows? But there's a lot going on with condos. So I'd say it's a multifaceted crisis. I also think.
But you agree it's a crisis. You agree it's a crisis at this point.
Of course, it's a crisis. Not to the luxury market, though. The luxury market keeps on flying, man. I don't know if you saw. I'm going to bring up a new issue. There was an article in the newspaper I don't remember which paper about uh, the city of Palm Beach proper and knocking down these huge homes, these 20,000 square foot mansions with famous architects in order for multi-billionaires to amass more property. Whether it be, whatever kind of billionaires. It's like the millionaires are gone and the billionaires are there. And Palm Beach is just like red hot. It's fiery hot. And I think it's going to cross over to West. It has crossed over to West Palm Beach as well. And Steve Ross is developing all over West Palm Beach, downtown. I mean, big time. Rents in West Palm Beach are skyrocketing.
So I think what you're talking about, David, is the New York Times article about the billionaires fighting to knock down perfectly good mansions to super develop their own.
Yeah, I mean, they want compounds, and I'm not blaming them. I mean, if I had $100 billion or $200 billion, I'd want to be on what's the name of the island that Brady is on here in
Indian Island, Indian Creek.
In Indian Creek, with the Amazon, Mr. Bezos, who happens to hail from Miami, went to Palmetto High School. Shout out to Palmetto, arch rival of Beach High. But the reality is that everybody's staking their claim in South Florida. They're moving here, pro-business, no state tax, great business environment. And as we talked about in the beginning, so many things going on in South Florida, so many cultural events, so many new restaurants. I'd like to talk about something, which is restaurant closures this summer. With all the new restaurants coming in, you're having a bunch of restaurants close down, some to reopen, some not to reopen.
Well, I got to figure, David, look, you've had this glut of New Yorkers and folks from California hit Florida. I think it created opportunity for restaurants to open. We've certainly seen a ton open that seem to really cater to folks from those areas. And I think, are we over-speccing the city? Are we putting ourselves over our skis? Are we really sort of trying to get ahead of where we really are? I mean, listen, have we grown as a region? There's no question. But are we big enough to support that kind of growth? And I think we're probably at a point now where we're starting to reach that apex of saying population relative to population and relative to, it's still a little bit of a transient city. It's not nearly what it used to be. I think we're at that point. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Because I mean, restaurants is a tough business, even in a great economy and in the biggest cities in the world, it's still a tough business.
It is a tough business. I'll grant you that.
You and I couldn't do it.
That's a good one.
A study shows. You ready for this? A study shows just 1 week in Miami can improve your mental health and boost your mood by 35%.
I don't believe that's fake news. I believe that's real news, and I'm going to tell you why.
I'm ready for. I was going to say, is this just going to be the seasonal affective conversation? Like it's the.
I think it has to do
nature's antidepressant.
If you live up north and the sun goes down at 3:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon, Boston being one of those wonderful places where it's gloomy and doomy.
Man, you are really hitting Boston today. I'm going to get my Boston team to rally. I know a couple of guys from Boston who watch you regularly. They are not going to be happy with your attitude towards their hats or their weather.
I'm waiting for them to invite me to a Sox game because I want to go to a Red Sox game in Fenway.
Can you say it properly? Can you say Sox properly? If you say it like a Bostonian would say, they'll get you the tickets.
Sox.
It's the Sox.
I want to see the Sox at Fenway.
It's the freaking Red Sox. Kid.
And I'll wear my scally.
Look, I don't disagree with you. Weather plays a huge role. Listen, when I first moved here,
if you can go to the beach and go in the water and see the sun, you're telling me that's not going to improve your mood?
No, of course it does. But I mean, that can't be the only reason because there's other places that have sunshine. It's not like
how about the beautiful people, the good food, and all the nightlife?
I mean, if that's what you're after, I mean, sure, it's I think my guess is you're right. It's probably mostly driven by weather. It is a healthier city, right? It's Miami continually named one of the healthiest cities in the country. You show up here, you get that tropical vibe, you get the beautiful people, you get the longer days and nights and the warm, balmy breeze, and you get us. I mean, I think if you add Sun, Sand, and Soul to that list, I mean, who wouldn't want to be here?
Well, I can tell you, I'm still waiting for my wife to listen to one episode.
Has she
maybe waiting a long time?
Not even on the walks. No. Is it?
No, she her attitude is she listens to me all day. The last thing she wants to hear is my voice.
Well, before we close up on Sun, Sand, and Soul Unfiltered, I am obligated because this is the way that life now goes. This episode of Sun, Sand, and Soul Unfiltered is brought to you by ISO Hydrate. David, have you tried ISO Hydrate yet?
Is that like the Hubble telescope in Hugh Hub?
It is exactly like the Hubble telescope. ISO Hydrate, nature's IV. It's got natural electrolytes. It is isotonic, which in a longer episode, I will tell you exactly what that means. I'm going to break this down for you really simple. ISO Hydrate is a drink that is made of nothing but pure fruit juices, coconut water, and natural electrolytes, the salt and the minerals. So it's basically like if nature had a Gatorade tree, the fruit that came off of it would be bottles of ISO Hydrate.
Well, so, I'm addicted to Gatorade Zero. So if I can switch off to this new drink, that'd be great. But if they're sponsoring us, shouldn't I at least get a free case?
Well, if you go look in the trunk of your car, they actually drove to North Carolina in the middle of the night. They found your keys. They opened the trunk. They put a case in. It's for you to enjoy.
Well, wait a second. You're coming up here next week. Just bring me a case with you.
Yeah, man. See, it's always got to fall on me. Gatorade's here. Listen, I'm not playing sponsorship interest here, but Gatorade's here. I think there is a movement away from the artificial sweeteners, right? It's basically
but I don't like the artificial coloring. I wish they just had it.
And we know that the FDA and
they're going after
Robert F. Kennedy and the artificial colors are in there. And I can tell you for 100% that ISO Hydrate does not have any artificial colors or any artificial sweeteners. So we're encouraging everybody to give it a try.
ISO Hydrate 5 times fast?
ISO Hydrate will also be available at Hugh Hub beginning in 2030. ISO Hydrate at Hugh Hub 2030. By the way, if that thing is developed,
I can't even say that once fast.
If that is developed by 2030, I'll give you $5. You saw the bridge. You saw our bridge has got delayed another 18 months. Our beautiful arch bridge.
I was surprised that you didn't bring that one up. And by the way,
it was kind of old news.
Government in motion.
I was going to say
slow motion.
News is meant to be something that is new and different. Like, is that really new and different? I mean, I'll be shocked if in 18 months. I'll be shocked if 18 months it's up. I love the bridge. Don't get me wrong. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love
it's
the bridge.
Beautiful, but government moves at the pace of snails.
Of government. David, Sun, Sand, and Soul Unfiltered. It's lovely to see you out of the studio. It'll be even more lovely to do Sun, Sand, and Soul. We've got a real studio style podcast coming from North Carolina and another Sun, Sand, and Soul Unfiltered next week. Very excited to do that. In the meantime, I wish you well.
I did buy new shirts, so I have some new outrageous shirts to wear when you come up here to do.
I'm going to share some viewer email about your shirts. We actually we legitimately got some email about the shirt conversation. We're going to bring that up in the studio episode, and we're going to see David have to absorb some real feedback in the studio.
I don't know that my skin can handle it. I'm very thin-skinned.
You're very thin-skinned. In the meantime, Josh Tomey, David Haber with Sun, Sand, and Soul Unfiltered. We'll see you in the studio next week. David, always lovely.